I hope that you don't mind that I call you Phil, because we know each other for many years. And even before I had the chance to meet you, for me, you were a very important person as the author of Psychology and Life.
When you were a little child, right?
No, don't joke. My daughter was a little child at that time. And Psychology and Life became like a legendary textbook in psychology. In all over the world and in Poland too. Do you think that the core concepts have the same chance?
That's a very profound question. Psychology and Life is an interesting book because it's the oldest textbook in all of psychology. I started writing in 1971, but the book originally was written in 1937, before the Second World War. And I did the 8th edition, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and now it's the 19th edition. So I've done, 13 editions. And it means every 4 years, and then later I have a younger co-author, Richard Gehrig, we think about what's new in the field that we should add, what things did we include last time that either not so interesting or questionable, the research, and then what are new concepts that are coming in, because what's exciting about psychology is constantly changing, evolving. The boundaries are stretching, so now we know much more about the brain and the nervous system. At the other end, in part because of the influx of women in psychology, there's new interest in health psychology, in cultural psychology,
gender studies,
peace and conflict. So psychology is expanding at, if you will, the molecular level, but also the molar level. Now, I wrote in America core concepts for the average level college student. Psychology and Life is really for high level, 18 chapters, a lot of research. And so core concepts I wrote for the middle level college student, and I focused on having really good pedagogy, making it information simple to access, even if you had a bad teacher. So,
but may I interrupt you,
yeah.
because I've translated 2 chapters from the core concepts. As you know, I was also one of the translators of Psychology and Life. What was for me very interesting in the core concepts is the way you are providing knowledge by raising questions and telling from the very beginning things that are explained in the chapter and at the end.
Right.
It was a pedagogical, it's a didactic method.
So we think that's new in textbooks. That is, most textbooks, you introduce a topic and then you say, here's what's been done, here's the research, here's the conclusions. We really start the other way. Here's the conclusion. Here's the important idea that you should remember. And then then we say, here's the background. Where did the idea come from? Why is it important? What is it linked to? So every chapter really begins by saying, what are the 3 key ideas that we should know about the brain, about motivation, about mental illness, about social psychology, whatever the topic is. And then within that, we say, within each of the questions, what are the big answers? And again, we usually use three core concepts or basic issues, 3 basic principles. But then throughout, before going on, we say, have you understood it? So let's take a little test before you go to the new material. Do you really know the old material? So it really is, we call user-friendly. Yeah. And that's why I think in Poland, I think the average educated person, even if they're not a college student, I think will enjoy reading this.
I'm sure.
I hope.
I'm very sure, and especially that I see in the core concepts, maybe more even than in Psychology and Life, this that you are asking to reflect, to consider, to look how it works or how it could work in life.
Yeah, you're right. Psychology life is still more traditional to say, here's the information that experts have pulled together, and my job as an author is to arrange it so that it's easy for you to access. Here, it's really saying, let me simplify the next level. You know, there's lots of different things you should know, but here we're only going to look at what are the 3 most important things. And of all the studies done, what are the 3 most important studies? But throughout, we're asking, step back, reflect. Why should you care?
Yeah.
Why should you care about this information? What difference does it make?
And the next question, in Oslo, you took part in a debate about what psychology can give to the world or to life. Do you think that if people had a more profound, more deep knowledge of psychology, life would be better?
I believe so. I mean, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool psychologist. I started teaching psychology when I was a graduate student in 1957. So that is 53 years. I gave my first lecture in Europe in Bonn, Germany, in 1959, International Congress of Psychology. I've been going to those meetings for 50 years. So I love being a psychologist. I love teaching psychology. I love doing research. And now I love getting other people excited about psychology. So for me, the textbook is kind of propaganda about psychology. I'm trying to get people to say, hey, I could be a psychologist. I could do that. And I think that the reason psychology is important for everyone is that human nature is fascinating. You know, just to think, why do people do what they do, whether it's for good or for bad? Why do I do what I do? Why is it that I have a good intention, I don't follow behavior? Why is it that you know, for some people I immediately form a liking, other people I immediately dislike?
Why? Yes.
Why? But that's what we want people to ask the why question about themselves and about others. But then we move to a higher level and we want to say, why does my government make these laws that are really not in the best interest of the people? So we want them to ask not only about yourself, kind of egocentric, but life around you. You know, why are some people prejudiced against anybody who looks different? When people who look different add diversity. So how do you get people to embrace differentness rather than to be afraid of differentness? So all prejudice is about the fear of anybody who's different.
Yes.
But different is interesting.
Yeah,
Different
it's
is novel.
motive.
Different is, would you like to be in a world where everybody looks like you and acts like you? No, except if you're a narcissist. You want to be in a world with different people, different ideas, different values.